Good morning, everyone. In this session, we are going to discuss about real estate fund accounting, why real estate fund accounting is growing, what are the opportunities and all. So, see, I have explained that in my previous session. I would like to request you to watch that session first because see, up to guys, hedge fund and mutual fund, this real estate is another big spectrum. I would say here you can tap more and more opportunities because in last couple of years I have seen huge growth potential in real estate market. If you ask me the size of real estate market, which is already crossed $40 trillion, so which is a huge, and in coming time you may see big boom in this particular spectrum. More and more funds, you would see like the fund managers, they'll raise funds and incorporate funds. So that's how you'll get opportunities. You can work as a maybe fund manager, fund accountants, reporting analyst, compliance analyst, business analyst, developers, because see, if any sector grows, then along with that you can see the other job opportunities also grows automatically. So let's discuss in details about what is real estate accounting and all. I just need your 10 to 15 minutes to understand this, so please pay attention here. See, if we talk about what is real estate private equity, real estate private equity refers to firms that raise capital from the common people or investors or HNIs or institutions, I would say. So basically they raise capital to acquire, develop, operate, improve or sell buildings in order to generate returns for their investors. And if you are familiar with, let's say, traditional private equity or real estate private equity, all right, so it's gonna be the same. It's like a private equity only, but you see normal private equity funds, they basically focus on buyout or LBOs or MBOs, or maybe to acquire distressed assets and all. But the real estate funds, they primarily focus on real estate asset class. So what are those asset classes? We'll discuss that in shortly. See, if we talk about main activities of real estate private equity funds, you can see like capital raising activity, then evaluation of investment opportunities, acquire or develop properties, right? It can be your land, open land, or XYZ, the asset classes which comes under basically real estate. Then managing properties or selling properties and all. So that all comes under your real estate private equity funds. So if we talk about structure of a real estate private equity funds, if you see in a normal private equity fund, what happened, all we have seen that one. You can check my previous videos as well. See, in a real estate private equity fund, you can say structures like SPVs, special purpose vehicle entities, or maybe you can say sometimes structure like only the blocker or small entities. Also fund managers, they can create and maintain the accounting separately for private equity products, or they can also form professional private equity funds at a very large scale to raise funds, to deploy funds in different variety of financial assets. So you can see the different structures basically. If we talk about this structure, this seems like LP GP structure. LP means limited partners who work as investors and who deploy the cash in the particular scheme, and they receive capital interest and even profit share as well along with their capital. Fund sponsors would be your general partners who manage day-to-day operations of a fund, so actually take care of everything, finding opportunities, raising funds, launching registration of a funds, or let's say take care of due diligence and everything, including your distributions of funds and all. So they take care of it. See, general partners, they also contribute capital as well as they provide service. So they receive fees and carried interest, including management fees, profit share, etc. that you can call. And apart from this, it is responsibility of general partners to take care of deployment of funds under different variety of you can say different asset classes like land, under construction properties, storage, then playgrounds, shopping malls, or anything, it could be commercial or non-commercial properties, so they can develop, acquire and sell it out in market. So that's how basically your corporate, the private equity structure works. It's like again general partner and limited partners, but here one thing is very important. In a real estate private equity funds, what happened? Most of the cases, what I have also seen, fund managers along with their commitment, they also raised leverage from the banks as well, or NBFCs, or any other financial institutions who is really interested to provide funding. So it means along with equity or along with their own capital or their partners capital, they also raised loans as well from financial institutions, and that's how it becomes very interesting and even complex as well to calculate first leverage and the interest payment distributions possibility, vacancy rate, then your expense rate, net operating expense rate, discount. There are a number of things, so that applies. All right. Then apart from this, if we talk about how it actually works, let's take this example. Let's say fund manager has raised 1 million, 1 million fund from the investor, right? Then investors will transfer money to the fund manager. Then fund manager will decide what to buy or what to sell. So basically, if fund manager want to deploy the fund, of course fund manager will invest. Maybe you can say equal allocation, or maybe unequal, depends on the of course investment objectives and all. So fund will be deployed in different securities. All right. And see, when we deploy as a fund manager, think as a fund manager. When fund manager deploy it means invest funds in variety of different the asset classes. See, if we invest in land, of course, the objective would be capital appreciation. If we invest in again in under construction properties and all, objective would be again capital appreciation as well as rental income as well, correct? Then same applies to the other asset classes as well, because on the basis of capital appreciation or even the discount in values, or maybe you can say appreciation in assets, on the basis of that fund manager take a decision and deploy funds accordingly. So here you can see one is capital raising. It means that process you can call it as your capital call. So fund manager raise funds through capital call, deploy funds in different variety of assets, generate some returns for fund managers as well as for investors, and distribute that rental income, or you can say appreciation or lease or everything to the investors. So this is how it actually works, means on the ground. I hope now you got the idea about how fund manager raised and all, and they registered this fund as a legal entity, maybe under you can say Indian government's that Alternative Investments Act, or maybe they can register in US, UK, anywhere they can register and deploy the funds in real estate sector. Now your question would be like, sir, why real estate sector? There are two reasons. In most of the countries, real estate, the sector which is something tax exempted. So that's how it's become more promising to invest. And in every country, I have seen like some good amount of tax benefits for a real estate funds. As a fund manager, it is a good if you establish any real estate funds to generate return for you and for your investors, and for accountants also. If any sector, let's say, if government is also offering tax benefits and all, of course it's a real estate sector, so you can target that sector only. All right, now your question would be like, sir, what about day-to-day activities of fund accountant? See, day-to-day activities would be capital call, fund accounting means recording of transactions in the books of accounts, investor allocation, then asset allocation, funds allocation, class allocation, financial modeling, distributions, reporting, KYC, AML, regulatory filing, financial reporting, auditing, right? And apart from that, you can see other activities as well. It could be developments, business analysis, or so and so forth. So this is how all that activities come into picture as a real estate accounting analyst. All right, and if you want to learn all of those activities, you can join our real estate private equity fund accounting program, so which covers everything in details along with one model as well. So because we'll prepare one model, so so that you can understand how modeling also works in real estate private equity space. All right, if you're really interested, you can give a call to us. And yes, in terms of interview, so you may expect very detailed, or I would say calculation based questions. This is just one sample which I want to ask you guys. Questions would be like, can you please explain about what is LTV and how your LTV works. So this is how they actually ask questions in an interview process. And maybe there would be more tough questions as well, but yeah, if you join any course, let's say around private equity and all, so we're going to discuss in details like performance metrics and all, along with accounting, journal entries and financial model for a real estate private equity fund. All right. Yeah, that's all about real estate private equity accounting. If you want to understand more in details, then you can, you can join course, or maybe we'll try to post as much as we can the concepts around real estate private equity and all. So that's all I wanted to discuss in this particular session. So we'll connect in again next session on different topics. So thank you very much for watching this. Thank you.